I was born May 3rd, 2002.
2 decades is a lifetime for 9/11 babies.
Post 9/11 world was my entire life. Not having a father was my entire life.
2 young women with their identities tied to the nation's most tragic day. Amy Hargrave's father, TJ, worked on the 105th floor of the North Tower. She was 4 years old.
I do have memories of it, but they're from my mother and my family telling me those memories.
Claudia Schakowsky's dad, a contractor, placed on a last-minute job wallpapering the very same office where Amy's dad worked. The job was supposed to end at 9 a.m. The first plane hit the North Tower of the World Trade Center 14 minutes before 9.
That's really hard for me. It holds a lot of weight on my shoulders.
Claudia's parents found out they were pregnant with her just a week before.
That's a card I made him for his birthday.
She's lived her entire life tied to photos, to stories from others, to sunglasses and trinkets left behind.
I have this one photo. This is the one I actually talked to. So, and I just kind of put it with like my big achievements, like my diploma from high school from last year. I talk to him about my day, what I'm doing, what's coming up for me, like big events, like things like this. I talk to him about it, and I feel like he's listening. I know he is. And when I have a busy day and I don't talk to him, I feel terrible for it.
Just below Claudia's bedroom, a makeshift memorial to her father that she uses to remember him. A flag with victims' names, an American flag, and an urn filled with rubble from the towers.
We never recovered anything from him, so.
So do you feel like this is almost like him when you...
Yeah.
Both girls forced to remember their fathers through other people's eyes, through stories and information that they have no experience with themselves.
Everybody has always told me, like, whenever they're just looking at me and I would do something like a facial expression, oh, your father did that, and things like that. So looking into a mirror just makes me feel good because it's like he's looking back at me.
Even her own sister, who was not even 4 at the time, has a connection Claudia wishes for.
I always tell her I envy her for at least getting to meet him, like feel his touch and things like that.
They grew up in the shadow of tragedy, but in very different ways. Amy's family stayed in the tri-state area, along with her mom and 2 sisters, in a small town in New Jersey, where everyone knew her name and her story.
We were classified and given a title of 9/11 kid compared to other kids who may have lost a parent due to cancer or a car accident, and they weren't classified as a car accident kid or as the cancer kid or someone who lost a parent due to that. So we were given this title that we never asked for, never wanted, but it was just who we became.
She's spent a lifetime trying to walk that delicate balance between honoring her father and creating her own identity.
I feel like mental health was something I really struggled with as a kid. It's only part of your story. It's not your entire story.
Claudia has a different reality. Her family moved to Fort Myers, Florida when she was 8.
What do your friends your age know about this day?
Close to nothing, and it makes me so angry because this is a historical event that we've lived through, and I mean, it's still 20 years later, it flew by so fast. And yet still in schools, like we just know, okay, this is what happened and that's it, let's move on.
Claudia says some of her classmates would taunt her, saying 9/11 wasn't real, that her family's painful story wasn't real. It's one of grief and guilt, specifically for her mom, who rushed outside that sunny morning to hand her father his ID to get into the World Trade Center after he forgot it.
She blames herself for that, for giving him his license, because if he just would have left late and didn't make it in, I mean, he would have still been here.
The comments from her peers changed the way she handles herself with those who don't know her well.
I tend to avoid telling people my whole story.
But when it comes to teaching other people about their pain, Claudia and Amy know that no matter how difficult the details, sharing their family's darkest moments with the world is necessary. Without speaking up, their stories and the ones of their beloved fathers will die.
9/11 is not just statistics, a day, and data. It affected real people. Every name on this plaza is someone who died and who was murdered.
In Lower Manhattan, Alex Miller, Newsy.